Hi everyone, I am here just to show you, I've had a lot of requests on showing you how I do this shading on scrapbook paper piecing. This is the scrapbook paper piecing that I've been showing lately. Scrapbook paper piecing simply is just layered pieces of paper that you puzzle together. And I personally like to shade each piece of cardstock, so that's what I'm going to show you what I do here first. This is the glue I like to use, just simple glue stick, acid-free. In addition to that, I use Zig glue pins to get into those little tiny spots. So first, I'm going to show you how to glue and assemble this file, which is found on Design Space. It's from Miss Kate Cuttables. If you search Picnic, you can find this file as well on Design Space, excuse me. So first, showing you gluing these pieces together. Then I will get into the shading process. We're going to start with the letter P. This one is not shaded. I don't do anything with it. I just cut it. Go ahead and glue. Get these little tight spots here. Place it on the paper. And like I said, that one has no shading. The next one, this letter P with the cheese, I use Color Box chalk is one of them. It's an ink, but it's a chalk ink. You can find many different types of chalk ink. I like Color Box. I like Versamagic, or some people call them Memento, different colors. I know there's like the Tim Holtz kind I use as well. Those are the two that I like to use the most. So this one it's a darker color than the paper. It's like an orangish color for this yellow. So I'm just going to take the side of it. Sometimes usually I use the whole ink itself. And I just go across the edges and just lightly shade the edge of the paper, giving it that dimension of like a different colored look. And as you can see, that shows. Take my glue, glue all those spaces, goes right on top. Next one is a little ketchup bottle. It's red. I'm going to go a little bit darker using a brown color. Give it a little bit of shade, edge. Get that a little zoomed so you can kind of see. Next one is the little watermelon. We're going to do this one. Just green paper. I'm going to use like a turquoise color. This color. Get right on there. Shade the edges. And see, you can kind of see that. Next color is do the black. No shading is needed. Before I glue, I want to make sure I have it lined up here. It's the right side of paper. I like to use a couple different brands of cardstock. I know I've had a lot of questions on what brand I use. I use Coordinations, Basil Canvas Texture. You can find those at Joann's. There's various places that you can get that cardstock online. I also like American Crafts cardstock that's canvas textured. It's canvas textured on one side, and then the other side is just a flat, smooth surface. So you can get those, like I said, at Joann's. Carries it by the sheet individually. You can go on Amazon as well. There's various different places. I seen a comment somewhere that someone had mentioned that Cricut actually also has textured cardstock. You can use that as well. So the watermelon, just place right there on top. Done with that little piece. Next one is a sandwich. Gonna get the green, that's the bottom layer here. Use the same color that I used for the edge of that for this one, the lettuce. And you can shade it all. All that's gonna be shown on this part of this piece is just the edges for the lettuce. That. And then the next piece, nothing that needs to be done to the dark brown. That's the next layer that we're using. Glue that right on top. Next color's red. Give the edge of that with the dark brown a little bit of color. Also, if your guys' ink is super saturated, which some of you might be finding, especially when they're brand new, I suggest using ink daubers is the name of them. Show you what they look like. This I believe I bought on Amazon as well. I'm not 100% sure, but they're called ink daubers. You can get them anywhere. Hobby Lobby, Joann's. And they do the same. You simply put the ink on top of this. If it's super wet, let me see if I can get a red one and show you on this little mustard bottle that is going to be next after the sandwich. You simply get your ink on that, and instead of using the actual ink pad, use that so it's just a little bit darker and makes the ink on there as well, so you don't have to worry about it getting it too saturated. I do a little bit of both. It kind of just depends on how much. I typically like to just grab the pad and use it, but sometimes when they're new, you can't do that. So I'm going to go ahead and glue that one on, and then I'll get back to the sandwich. Sorry, I thought I'd show you that little tip there of using ink daubers. So after the red on the sandwich, we're going to use this brown. And again, we're going to use the dark brown. Just like I would for the red, use for the brown. Don't be afraid to experiment on different paper scraps. I mean, you really can just manipulate the paper in the different colors, which makes it even more fun to kind of see what you come up with. White, I typically use a light gray stamp ink or a light blue just to give it a little bit, and I'll show you that on the little eyes of the ant. So there's the little sandwich. We're done with that. Did the mustard bottle. We're going to do this little napkin C, and that one is just glued. I didn't do any shading on that one. Kind of up to preference. I didn't think it needed it, but you're more than welcome to add it. That one just kind of slides under the little mustard bottle. And there's the title. I'll give you a close-up of this before we do the ant so you can kind of see. So we got our ant. Here's the gray part. There's a charcoal dark gray. Black would even work, and just shade the edges of that as well. Glue him on. Also, what's fun to do, and I like to do as well for my page layouts, make a couple extra of your ants or even a couple extra sandwiches, watermelons. Those will really add some extra embellishments on your scrapbook pages. Just that repetitiveness of different elements using different, the same, but having them just like stickers. Again, they're called scrapbook paper piecings that you can do as just simple embellishments on your layouts. So here is the eyes, the whites of the eyes. Make sure you can see that right here. Here's the just plain white cardstock with the canvas texture. Get a light blue or a gray color and just lightly go around the edges of that as well, just like you do on any other color. And it just makes it pop. Now we're going to add these eyes on with the glue. And you can choose to attach this ant above the little sandwich like I had done there, or just leave them separate. And then you can just place them just like that. glue it on them on the title itself or leave it by itself. But mainly I just wanted to show you guys the shading that you guys have been asking about. Again, I use different inks from Memento inks, Color Box chalks. They have different colors. I even use the Tim Holtz ink that you can use, the Distress inks. The glue pen is, you can find these on Amazon as well. Zig glue pens, and then just a regular acid-free glue stick that you can use for the glue. So thanks for watching and have a wonderful rest of the day.